Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to get started on a second project while we're allowing the first project, the 2024 fall display, to sort of marinate and come up with better ideas to keep that second base going. So I was inspired to continue creating this week, and I was thinking back to probably one of the most anticipated pieces of 2024 that I was looking forward to getting. And that is the one called Spiritual Guidance. It is the kind of the graveyard with the ghosts and the light. And I thought, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to get that because I want to build a vignette around this piece. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. Now, this will not be a long drawn out process, nor will it be a step-by-step tutorial. What we will do is kind of go through the design process and the thought and kind of my ideas of going into this vignette, and then we'll start exploring how we're going to create it. We'll start carving, we'll start painting, and you may not see every single piece of that, but you certainly will follow the progression as we go from start to finish. I'm thinking probably 2 tutorials on this one max, because I want to get it done and finished and then move on to the fall display. So if you guys are on board with that, which I hope you are, let's jump off of the tripod and take a look at what pieces we're going to put into this very cool yet very small and unique 2024 Halloween vignette. Okay, so you can kind of see here what I've got laid out in front of us. So the inspiration for this entire vignette is spiritual guidance. However, I have yet to use the Travis Louis, Walter and Larry's crypt and the coordinating piece of Wilhelmina and Lucille. So I'm going to incorporate those in there. We've got a box full of, container full of the spooky wrought iron fence. We've got the new dark forest landscape trees. We've got a couple of coffins that have never been broken out of the packaging. And then we've got the spooky graveyard vigil tombstones that light up. And then I had to have this. This is an Ashland Halloween piece at Michael's. This very scary looking bust that I thought would just go perfect in a graveyard. May have to color her a little bit with some dye to make her look a little bit more rusted and older and out in the elements. And then probably build some sort of a tombstone out of foam to set her on and perhaps go into this scene. I don't know for a fact that I'm going to use this piece here, but I certainly might, and I think it would fit good. We're going to use a piece of 2-inch foam as our base, and really that is about it. I do plan on doing some moss around the place, I do believe. Maybe not. We'll just see how it looks, but I anticipate on some moss going in there. So with that, let's get everything kind of sorted and start looking at the design of this vignette. Okay, so here I believe is the initial layout, the initial design. It's going to be a fairly small display, yet pretty crowded. And so you can kind of see I've taken a marker, and it's going to be sort of a circular display. And then you can see how everything is going to be set up inside there. Those trees are just looking fantastic sitting in there like that. You've got Walter and Louis's crypt, or Walter and Larry's crypt in there. You've got Wilhelmina and Lucille in there. You've got the 3 lit tombstones, and then the 2 big coffins. I don't think I'm going to put the Ashland figure in there. I'll build that at another point and put it somewhere. But I think this will look pretty good, especially when it's all done, cut, carved, painted, and then we start the detail work on it. I think it's going to look pretty amazing. And then obviously with the lights on, we'll get to see how it all looks. So with that, let's take everything apart. I am going to mark out, I think, where I want the coffins, because I think I'm going to bury those a little bit, and then we will start carving. Okay, I just wanted you to see what the design looks like without anything on it. Now, I'm not going to videotape me cutting the foam because I've got to do it outside, and quite honestly, it's 113 degrees right now, and so we've been through that mess before where the camera is just going to shut down. I'm going to use the Hot Wire Foam Factory tools. I'm going to cut this out, and then just with probably a 6 or 8 inch knife, just the straight tool, come all the way around, sort of a jagged pattern. And then I'm going to take the handheld router, or the freehand routing tool, the one that's bendable, and I'm going to carve it up like stone on all the sides to make it look the way it's supposed to look. And then that is really it. So it's going to be a little oblong of a pattern, and that's okay. That's the way we've designed it. And then there's going to be a hole here for the gate. That's the cord for the gate. I'm going to cut these out probably just with an X-Acto knife, and then kind of pluck them out for the coffins to lie in. And then we've got the crypt is going to have a cord coming out, and then the tombstones are also going to have a cord coming out. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, which will work into a Department 56 3-prong adapter just fine. So one plug will light all of this up. So with that, let me get out and start cutting. Okay, so you can see that I've done the carving outside. It is incredibly hot outside. It took no time to dry. Looks okay, doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad either. You see I trenched everything here, and then to cut out the area for the coffins, I used the trenching tool and just made slices. It was a whole lot easier than an X-Acto knife. It's not perfect, but it's not bad either. It's going to work just fine. So this is ready to go, and so I think what we're going to do now is take our trusty palette from Costco. We've got some rainy day gray. All of our craft room, as you guys know, is completely unusable at the moment, so everything's in boxes, so it's very difficult to find anything. So I just was able to find some paint, thank goodness, and that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so with this, I've got a big brush, very old, but I'm just going to sort of dry brush this on, just to give it some sort of a rocky texture. Just along the edges, though. I don't want to get anywhere on top, I don't believe. Okay, I think that's how that's going to look. I'm not going to put a whole lot more effort into that. May dry brush a little bit up here, quite honestly, just to see how that would look. Bad part with a white foam, it starts to flake off. You can clearly see that. That'll be covered up so nobody will see it. Okay, so that is that. So now we're going to put that away, and we're going to use a little bit of brown. Kind of get down into the dirt area there. May put a little bit of brown dry brush on as well. Probably we'll use the same brush for the dry brush with that. This is Okay, well, I got you outside. It is crazy hot out here. I've got the display sitting down there. We're going to look at that in a minute. I've got my PVA glue. Everything seems washed out with this camera. I'm going to just be pouring this straight onto the display. I've got some grass ready to go, some moss cut up. I'm not going to use a whole lot. And then I've got my display down here. So I got to keep you out of the sun, unfortunately, or the camera will die. I know this is overexposed. It appears to be overexposed. Let me see if I can do anything about that. See how long this will last. All right. Okay, so here it is with the lights on rather. You can see that I think it looks great. The grass again is not crunchy at all. It's very soft, and it'll certainly flake off there. But it is somewhat dry. That sun is just hot today. But as you take a look, it looks great. You see Wilhelmina and Lucille back there. You see Walter and Larry's crypt back there. It's working. And you see the tombstones that are lit up as well. And then the backdrop of trees just sort of makes this, right? And you can see the fence kind of running along the sides. The rock wall or ledge or piece of concrete or whatever you want to call that is good. And then you see how the coffins kind of fit down into the ground. Looks pretty good from all angles. And so this was a fairly simple project. It was a very easy to do, something you could do in an afternoon. All honesty, total work on this, not including the drying time, was probably an hour to an hour and a half or so of getting this one started and completely finished. Now, like I said, all I got to do is dry put the glue water mixture onto the grass and then let that dry for the rest of the evening. And this is ready to display on an end table or wherever. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Let's take a look now with the lights dimmed. Okay, that's about as dark as I can get it. It's obviously not dark in here, but you can see it glows really nice. Everything looks just superb. You can really see the red lights of the crypt kind of glowing on the ground there by Wilhelmina and Lucille. Everything just is really, really good. It could certainly be a little bit brighter in certain areas, but not really. I mean, if I had some maybe purple uplights back in those trees, or maybe some purple fairy lights, I may try that to kind of just lay back there and let them kind of do their thing. I'll see how that looks, but all in all, this looks pretty daggone good. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. No issues at all, and it looks spectacular with the lights down. Well, hey, hopefully you enjoyed this very quick, very simple, yet very elegant looking display that we just made. And again, all in all, probably about an hour and a half worth of work. Pretty simple concept. The design, the vision that you have in your mind, all centered for me around spiritual guidance, the gate. I knew when I saw that that would be a perfect entryway into a creepy old cemetery. And it just so happens, and I'll show the video again, I'll show the display again on the way out. And I want you to keep in mind a couple of things that just coincidentally have worked themselves out to be sort of representative of what the display design kind of showcases. One, the gate, again, was the crux of everything. It was the beginning of everything. Everything was built around that. It has two ghosts that are standing at the front of the gate. I've put two coffins in the ground that are exposed and obviously could be open, perhaps to represent the two spirits at the front gate, allowing other folks in and out of the cemetery. So kind of coincidental, but yet pretty neat when you think about it. You've got Larry and Walter's crypt. You've got Wilhelmina and Lucille in there, both two apiece. You've got twos of just about everything. And to me, that's pretty neat. And then the backdrop with all the trees just adds to me to the, it's off by itself. It's out in the woods. Obviously, the tombstones are, somebody's visiting and using those as a vigil and lighting candles. So it's just representative that in this case, Wilhelmina and Lucille would be in this cemetery mourning the loss of Walter and Larry. I know I think things too, maybe sometimes too deep, or maybe not deep at all, but that's kind of what I see after I've created that. That was not the original intent. I just wanted to build a cemetery around the spiritual guidance gate. So I think it's turned out much better than I anticipated. I think it's very classy. I think it's very elegant. And I think it would look incredibly cool just about anywhere you'd like to display this in your home. And the good thing is it doesn't have to be Walter and Larry's crypts. You could put anything back there. You could put the haunted merry-go-round that spins this year. You could put any of the other crypts in the Rest in Peace crypt series back there if you wanted a small vignette. The possibilities are endless when you start thinking about how to build a very small yet elegant, cool looking display. So hopefully this has inspired you to get creating. We are in the midst, really in the middle of July. We've got all of August, we've got all of September, and then the month of October, which we've all been waiting for, is going to be here. And so this helps me to get motivated to kind of continue to build. I'll get part 2 of the Fall Village, the fall display done here in the next few days, I hope, and get that one complete, and then we'll continue to move on. So starting to get back in the building spirit, which is a wonderful thing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and I'm going to videotape everything that I'm building so you can follow along and hopefully get you inspired to start building your own displays. Hey, if you have questions on anything we did here today, don't hesitate to ask me those in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think you could build something like this with something that you have, or what your thoughts are. I'd be happy to give you some advice or listen to your thoughts or whatever it is you want to tell me on the channel. And if you've liked this video, make sure you click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps the channel to grow. It helps me personally, and it keeps me motivated to keep coming back and sharing these videos with you guys. So until we do this again, take care of yourselves. We'll talk again real soon.